Before anyone gets too excited about fighting krakens and voodoo skeletons in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Ubisoft has confirmed that they'll be bringing the same level of historical accuracy to the golden age of piracy that they brought to colonial Boston.
You seem a spry fellow. Should you happen to find my missing pages, I'll reward you.
Maybe slightly less historical accuracy if we're lucky. Presumably they just mean less of this sort of thing.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Than forcing you to drink your own urine or die of scurvy or anything, but they've already named some of the historical figures we'll be seeing in the game. So let's take a look at who'll be showing up, shall we? Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, is probably the most famous pirate of all time. Why? Because he was a f***ing lunatic who everyone was terrified of. Teach figured that the pirating business would be a lot easier if everyone just surrendered to him immediately out of terror, so he went around embellishing his reputation by doing things like sticking lit fuses into his hat and beard, shooting his first mate so people would know who was in charge, and locking his crew and himself below deck with burning pots of brimstone to see who could handle being in hell for the longest. Guess who won? His ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, had 40 guns, which you'll notice is quite a lot of guns, and was made even more intimidating by his signature flag, which depicts a drunk skeleton toasting Satan's health while stabbing a heart with a spear, and is actually kind of adorable. Eventually Blackbeard got tired of being a terrifying badass and accepted a royal pardon so he could concentrate on sitting around on his ship getting hammered. One week-long drunken party with Charles Vane was the final straw for the governor of Virginia, who sent the Royal Navy after him with 2 heavily armed sloops. A fierce battle broke out where Blackbeard was shot 5 times and stabbed at least 20 before having his head cut off, presumably to separate it from his adamantium skeleton and Wolverine regeneration powers.
Blackbeard's drinking partner in that final party, Charles Vane, was no slouch in the pirate stakes either, as you'd expect from someone throwing a party so loud the governor of the next state decides he needs to intervene. Vane took being a dick to the next level though, treating the crews of captured ships cruelly and cheating his men out of their fair shares of captured treasures. He also liked to pretend to take pardons and then carry on pirating anyway, which worked way more often than you'd think. When porn star named Governor Woodes Rogers, also confirmed to be appearing in Black Flag, turned up at Nassau to oversee a pardon for any pirates willing to actually stop being pirates for like 5 minutes, Vane reacted by lighting one of his captured ships on fire, setting it on a course for Rogers' flagship, and then sailing off, laughing, firing his guns, and presumably mooning out of the portholes. Eventually his dickishness caught up with him and he was mutinied by his men, led by Calico Jack Rackham, and removed from command. Vane continued his life of piracy in a small sloop with a token crew until they were wrecked in a hurricane. Almost everyone else died, but Vane washed up in the Bay of Honduras where he was rescued. Unfortunately for Vane, he was rescued by someone who had actually met him, and so he was turned over to the authorities in Jamaica and hanged.
Calico Jack Rackham was originally a quartermaster to Charles Vane, but led a mutiny against him for cowardice. The cowardice in question was Vane deciding not to attack a French man-of-war over twice the size of their vessel, the Ranger, because they would have been absolutely flattened. Clearly Rackham was not much of one for plans that weren't insane and suicidal. Today he's best known for having the most badass pirate flag ever. Classic. And also for having 2 female crew members, that was Mary Read and Bonny. Unfortunately, Rackham also liked a drink and was captured by pirate hunter Jonathan Barnett when his crew had gotten so apocalyptically drunk that they were unable to put up a fight while at anchor in Jamaica. He was hanged and gibbeted at the entrance to Port Royal, but at least he got a K named after him. Every cloud, eh?
Daughter of a wealthy merchant, Anne Bonny was something of a problem child in that she stabbed a servant girl with a table knife when she was 13 and then reportedly burnt down her father's plantation in retaliation for him disowning her. She turned to piracy, joining Calico Jack's crew and later marrying him at sea. Contrary to some reports, she didn't disguise herself as a man aboard Rackham's ship the Revenge. She fought alongside men and was well respected by the crew. In fact, she was reportedly one of the only pirates actually sober enough to fight when Rackham's ship was taken, a fact that seems to have annoyed her greatly, as her reported final words to Rackham before his execution were, "I'm sorry to see you here, but if you had fought like a man, you need not be hanged like a dog," which suggests that A, she was pretty annoyed with Rackham, and B, that dog hangings were a lot more common than history reports. Anne escaped the gallows herself by claiming to be pregnant and then promptly vanished from history, presumably getting out while the getting was good.
Benjamin Hornigold was Blackbeard's mentor and a pirate so good at boarding ships he once did it just to steal everyone's hats because his crew had got drunk the night before and thrown theirs overboard. Hornigold wouldn't attack British ships, he considered himself a privateer rather than a pirate, but it turned out that most of his crew were really up for some piracy and would actually love to attack British ships. So he was mutinied in 1717 before becoming a feared pirate hunter and going after most of the rest of the guys in this list. His pirate hunting career didn't last long though. His ship was hit by a hurricane in 1719 and he drowned, presumably going in after his hat.
Don't meddle in his private affairs, for there's more mystery to that man than even I dare ask.
So there you go, 5 pirates you'll be meeting in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Are you looking forward to it? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next time on Outside Xbox.